So today we're going to go from place to place and year to year and everything. But one of the things I thought I'd start with was a spoof of Universal Studios. I mentioned it, I think, last week. I don't remember how it came up, but uh, back, I don't remember the exact year. Seagram's, the beverage company, decided to buy Universal Studios. And you talk about two things that are totally different, putting them together. It's really funny. It seems like a lot of people want to buy movie studios. When I worked at Warner Brothers for about 15 years, we had been owned by a guy who ran a parking lot company in New York, and he decided he wanted to buy a movie studio, and he bought Warner Brothers. So sometimes the marriages work out, some don't. Universal and Seagram's was really, really interesting. And I went to Universal. I was supposed to go there for a 2-week assignment, and I stayed almost 3 years. It was a crazy time. But you have a company now that makes basically alcoholic beverages, sells them to consumers, and now they get a movie studio. And they started coming up with all sorts of ideas on things like, well, not all of our alcoholic beverages are priced the same, but maybe we should start pricing some of our movies as average movies, premier movies, and really good movies. And those of us that have been in the business, I've been, in it for 20 years. I said, no, I mean, if you go and you say this movie is not worth as much as every other movie, people are not going to come to that movie. And they tried it on one or two, and the theater owners were just horrified because if you say whatever the price of admission was back then, say it was $10, but this is a $6 movie, everybody go, oh, El Stinko, I'm not going to go. And the Seagram's people were convinced, no, it's a bargain movie. No, people didn't go. Then they also became convinced that nobody was going to go to the movies anymore. Everybody was going to watch everything on their cell phone. And this was back in about the 2G days or something. So transmission speed wasn't really great and everything. But they were, I remember being at meetings and they said, we don't need to build these big sets anymore because nobody's going to see all those details, because they were really convinced everybody was going to watch them on their cell phone. And we went to a big presentation at the Universal Amphitheater. If anybody that lived out here remembered that, full of everybody. And they're giving us all this demonstrations and everything. And they said, oh, we have a film that you can watch now. And everybody go to this address and watch the film. And it didn't work because there were so many people all trying to hit it at one point that the thing, like, welcome to, and it just froze and nobody could see anything. But they were absolutely convinced that everybody would sit around. And like, they said, are there any questions? And yes, okay, guy in the back. I said, do you really think people are going to go on dates watching their movies on their cell phone? Oh yeah, we think people have viewing parties and they're all sitting around watching, and their thought was everybody's going to be sitting around watching the phones, having a Seagram's wine cooler, right? It was crazy times. So somebody at some point in time decided that they needed to let the Seagram's people know what movie studios were all about. And they made this film, and it's really an amazing little piece of comedy. I mean, I don't know how much this thing costs to make, but it's really good. I'll just warn people, there's a little bit of profanity in it where they get into talking to a rap musician, and he goes off. But let me bring this thing up here. Share screen. Oh, I have to start the movie 1 second so I have that window open. Okay, here, let me rewind it. I'm going to share screen. And I'm going to go here, and this time we're going to have video and audio. You're going to see a whole bunch of famous people in it. Like I said, I cannot imagine what they spent on this thing. Okay, let me enlarge it. Here we go.
Hollywood, California, home of the magical talking picture. A mecca of entertainment, Hollywood has always been known as a land of romance and a sparkling beacon for a life of glamour. Beneath the clear blue skies of the San Fernando Valley is Universal Studios, a company whose name has always been synonymous with classic talking pictures. In addition to timeless masterpieces like these, Universal is also widely known for its thrilling theme park. Yes, these elements have all combined to make Universal Studios what it is today. But what about tomorrow? If we don't keep in step with the times, things that once were neat and thrilling can become old and stupid.
Whoa. What is going on here? Ladies and gentlemen, this never happens. Look out! It's a shark! Here it comes! The shark is coming!
That's right, old and stupid.
Look out! All you back there is in the back of the tram! Whoa! That is one big, scary shark.
For folks that don't know, notice that Steven Spielberg, and here's Jeffrey Katzenberg.
Oh, the humanity! Isn't that terrifying?
To keep up with the times, one must constantly modernize. And that's true for our studio, too. But how can we improve the studio? Well, first of all, in order for the studio to prosper in the future, we need to apply modern, futuristic ideas. The first of these ideas is being artist-friendly.
Say, what does that mean, artist-friendly?
To find the answer, let's start where most people get their first impression of our studio, the front gate.
Hello.
Oh, look, here's MCA recording star Tracy Lords. She's thinking of acting in an upcoming film here at Universal.
Your papers, please.
But the attitudes of the guards and the bleak, unattractive surroundings make Miss Lords feel uncomfortable and unwelcome.
I feel uncomfortable and unwelcome.
Of course you do. But what if our gate was more artist-friendly? We'll start with the guards. Those dark uniforms connote oppression and conformity. But new outfits, with pastel colors and high, pretty collars, seem to say, I'm your friend, not your enemy. How about some inspiring buttons to show our optimism? And what about that security gate? Black and white lines may remind artists of police and fear. But a new gate, with attractive flowers and colorful birds, becomes a lovely decoration, not just a deterrent. Now, with just a few more changes, and some attractive porcelain deer, our gate is now artist-friendly and ready for the future. So how do you feel now, Miss Actress?
I feel welcome and relaxed from a meeting at Universal.
That's splendid. Too bad the part you want will probably go to Demi Moore.
What?
Oh, nothing. Here, have a wine cooler. Compliments
Oh.
of your new studio.
Thanks.
Now, don't open that until you park. Now, what else will make our studio artist-friendly? Well, how about that old black tower? In the past, many meetings have taken place there, but some people find it rather unappealing.
أنا جيت لأستثمر مبلغ كبير من المال.
Oh, absolutely. You know, foreboding is the word that best describes it. You know, it's like real severe, you know. I mean, just the name like Black Tower, I never want to go there.
We certainly don't want to breed fear and contempt into our guests. So let's try some different colors. How about the white tower? Or the plaid tower? That's right. Now let's just add a porcelain deer for decoration.
Tell Ron Murray to be a man and say that to my face. An artist-friendly atmosphere should prevail, not only outside, but inside as well. A neat and tidy office, complemented with the proper flowers and appropriate decorative garnishes, will make artists feel at ease, and thus aid in the pitching process.
That's right, Andrew Bergman. But artist-friendly is also in how we treat each other.
Wait, Mike! Mr. Lobel! You forgot your profit participation check.
Wow, $8 million.
And have some Seagram's wine coolers. On us!
This.
And here's a little pig for the kids.
Oh,
Thanks for choosing Universal.
Neat. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
There now, Kevin Misha. Doesn't that make you feel a lot better?
Why, yes. Yes, it does.
Yes, we can all do our part to make the studio a more beautiful, artist-friendly place.
Sweeten, enhance, beautify. Sweeten, enhance, beautify. Sweeten, enhance.
Looks like James Cameron's got the idea. Say, Sean Cassidy,
Who, me?
how do you like those complimentary wine coolers?
I'm blitzed on this stuff already.
Sweeten, enhance, beautify.
Gosh, with all the wonderful improvements going on around here, everyone is going to want to work at Universal.
Yes, and that brings us to our second point. Now that we're artist-friendly, it's time to build our talent roster. You see, sometimes making things more beautiful doesn't make them better. They can still be old and stupid. So we've spent a lot of money and brought in some of the best artists the world has to offer. Like stunning actress Demi Moore.
Yes, it's true. I did just join the Universal family. Casey, Hal, Ron, they're like fathers to me. Grandfathers, even. Besides, being with the Universal family makes me feel secure, so I have more free time to do the things I love, like baking ham.
Hon, hands on.
We've also acquired director John Singleton.
Action!
Here's John on the set of his new movie, Shut Your Honky Ass Mouth, Cracker Boy.
And cut!
I am happy to be part of the new MCA Universal family, where I plan to make a lot of money.
Can I get my wine cooler now?
Certainly.
Seagrams, bold and wine cooler, Seagrams.
Yes, and we've also just bought the Zucker brothers.
We're really happy with the way we've been treated so far at Universal.
Yeah, they're so much different from all the other studios we've been at.
Yes, but we don't want you thinking about other studios. In fact, we want you to forget there even are other studios. Forget. Forget.
Forget.
Forget.
Forget.
Forget.
Forget.
Good. Good.
Forget.
That's right. Forget.
Forget.
But our new acquisitions are not only in the film world, we're also going multimedia.
Say, what does that mean, multimedia?
Well, for the answer to that question, let's go to New York City. Universal is steadily making its presence known in the Big Apple. Here at Universal Records, new bands and recording artists are signed every day. Here's the drummer from the hot new band Goldfinger. Say, young whippersnapper, how would you like to be a part of the Universal MCA Corporation?
Fuck you! Corporation bullshit, corporate whore, fuck.
Ooh, that teen angst sells a lot of records for Universal. Give that man a wine cooler.
What is this shit? Fuck you!
We also have MCA records with rap stars like Heavy D.
Golly, it sure is nifty to be a part of the Universal family. I mean, jeepers, everybody here is just swell. Golly willikers, how could I ever go anywhere else? I mean this.
And now it's on to Nashville, where we've signed some of country's hottest performers, like Marty Stewart.
I don't know how things could be any better here at Universal. They take such good care of us artists. Well, like for instance, when my album went gold, I got this beautiful deer in the mail.
But we don't stop there. Multimedia includes books, too. That's why Universal owns Putnam Berkeley, with best-selling authors like Robin Cook. Say, Robin, how does it feel to be with Universal?
I love it. It's probably the best thing that's happened to me. Here, have you seen my newest book? Pre-written in screenplay format. Saves a lot of time. Now my book can go directly to the movies, which is a real plus, because those executives who can't read can go see the cute little talking picture.
Yes, Universal is busy making acquisitions all over the country in order to become a worldwide multimedia conglomerate of entertainment. Just ask Sylvester Stallone.
Universal sure is buying a lot of stuff.
Say, isn't that producer Barry Kemp?
Say, what about the future? We can't just keep relying on existing talent. We have to be open to new talent.
That's right, Barry Kemp. And ironically, that brings us to our final point. The last key to a modern studio is having an open-door policy.
Say, what does that mean, open-door policy?
It means anyone can share their ideas. This keeps our studio from becoming old and stupid. But where do we find new talent? You might be surprised at the answer. This is Pepe. Pepe has a great idea for a blockbuster hit movie involving two women and a lost dwarf.
I'm just a janitor. Nobody wants to hear my ideas.
Don't worry, Pepe. You work for Universal Studios, and here they welcome all ideas.
and the two women and the dwarf live happily ever after. How do you like my idea, Mr. Executive?
Write it all out, and I'm going to submit it to my development people right away, okay?
Wow, really? Thank you.
Oh, and Pepe, would you empty the trash for me, please? That's a good janitor, thank you.
Sometimes crew members on film shoots are a source for ideas.
I've been in this business for a long time, and I've always lived by one simple philosophy. Be nice to the little people. Morning, guys. I brought pastries. Because down the road of life, you simply never know who your boss is going to be. From the lowliest PA to...
Pardon me, ma'am. Do you have anything else besides jelly?
You'll eat what I give you to eat and be glad to have it. For instance, when I made clam bake with Elvis, there was...
Yes, an open-door policy allows us to find the newest, freshest ideas. Isn't that right, Mr. Stallone?
You know, it's good to be open to new talent, because that way you're more open to new talent and stuff.
So let's review our 3 modernizing techniques. 1, being artist-friendly. 2, building that talent roster. And 3, never say no to a sailor.
Say, what does that mean? Never say no to a sailor.
Yes, it's a whole new Universal here. And because of all the great changes being made here, Ron and I have decided to stay. We're both making ourselves completely available and accessible for all the studio-related functions. Ron says things are great, and he's fine.
So now we're just one big happy family of movies, books, music, television, and liquor.
People who need people.
Yes, from all around the country, artists are starting to call Universal City Studios home. Universal City Studios, UX. And with all of our new changes, no wonder everyone is saying, it sucks for me.
It sucks for me.
And how about you, Alan Hughes?
Hey, it sucks for me, too.
Yes, and it sucks for him, and it sucks for her, and it sucks for all of us.
Gee, I had no idea Universal was making so many changes and stuff.
By constantly changing, updating, and improving, we will never fall into the trap of becoming, you know. It's the dawning of a new day, and with our new regime, we're becoming the most modern studio we can be. Thank you.
Okay, look, you're going to tell him I don't talk that way, right? I mean, this whole thing's been a gag to put on. I put the Rocky thing behind me. It's a character. You're going to work on that, right? You're going to tell him. I can...
Sure, Brainiac. Here, have a wine cooler.
Thank you very much. See, that's a character thing. It's something I work on. Fucking cheap studio.
Thank you. Goodbye.
How's that for?
It's hysterical.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that was funny was I worked with this guy with a real sense of humor, and after this thing came out, he went off and got one of those porcelain deer, and we had it in the entrance to our office, and people would come walking in and see the deer sitting there, and we would pretend like people are like they didn't want to ask, they were there for an interview, and there's this deer sitting there, and finally somebody would ask about what's with the deer, and he goes, what? Oh yeah, the deer. Oh, everybody's got him. Well, it lasted a couple months, and then it got stolen. We came in one day, and the deer was gone. You don't realize how much you miss something though it's not there. So we called corporate security, and they said, "Oh God, not another missing deer," because a bunch of other people. Well, so we never found out where our deer did go. But somebody, Darren, I think it was, said, sounds like the South Park guy was Trey Parker doing the narration there, and you probably recognize all sorts of people. Demi Moore, obviously they called by name, Angela Lansbury, Shelley Fabre. I mean, it was a great corporate film. And the thing somebody said was, here's Steven Spielberg, about Jaws. It's old and stupid, So how they go along and do that whole bit was kind of amazing. I have another.
Well, you know where the deer disappeared to, Bill?
No.
Did you ever go to the Seagram headquarters? They all had them in their offices. They wanted them.
They were a strange bunch to work with.
Where did they show that movie clip?
They showed it at the Universal Amphitheater to all the employees. I have no idea where they showed it to the what you call it, the Seagram site people. I do have one other video which I ought to bring out someday. Warner Brothers did one about earthquake prevention, and I think it was hosted by Clint Eastwood. And again, major stars, all about, and they did some really great stuff. They're in an office, and how's everything going? And this building shakes, and the whole office falls down, and then people sit there with glass sticking out of their head and terrible things, and they're talking about how to be calm and you be a floor warden and everything. But they had a whole bunch of really expensive talent do the this Warner Brothers earthquake training film. So, you know, so sometimes working in the studio, you got to have fun stuff. But yeah, now I feel bad. I really need Carol. When we go to lunch, can we get a porcelain deer for our yard? Well, no, we're gonna go on after lunch. I'm gonna put my Christmas inflatables out. So
If I can find one, I'll get it for you.
Oh, now you know what I want for Christmas, right? No, it's really, I don't know about the rest of you guys. I look at Don's picture and stuff. It's really hard getting out into the Christmas spirit here. It was 86 yesterday. So yeah, it's crazy.
We went on a Christmas lights tour a couple days back, and it was 16 degrees.
Oh God, no. Crazy.
Just warmly enough, it's not so bad.
No. Well, let me go and get the first of the pictures ready here. As I said, I'm going to do in the invitation here. Hope I can see what I'm looking at. Let me get the first one so I have a window to open. Basically, this will be going back to the whole thing of other times, things that are scanned and are not fully restored. But about a year ago, somebody was selling a bunch of pictures of Disney-MGM Studios, and this won't show too much, but it's an official Walt Disney Imagineering slide. Copyright, the first batch is 1989 and then 1990. I have no idea what these were made for. We'll see some of Disney-MGM under construction. We're gonna. I looked. I don't think I saw Brock, but Brock, you may see people that you knew on. It's a whole, and they're not numbered, so they jump from construction shot to people out on the street, back to construction. They're kind of all over the place. But I really enjoyed going down to Disney-MGM. First of all, I did not work on it. I had left Disney by then. So everything was new. Wherever you went was, something fun and exciting. Having worked 20 something years in the industry, it was kind of fun to see some of the things they had done. Does everybody know, for example, what Foley work is? If you don't, it's when the guy walks across to the stage and you record it and you don't necessarily pick up the sound of the footprints, or you want to make them sound like he's on gravel or something, and they bring in a guy or a gal that makes the sound effects, and they'll do things like walk on walnut shells to give it a certain sound texture as opposed to walking on concrete, and then they dub that in. So it's always fascinating to watch it done. And then at Disney-MGM, they would actually have you act out a scene where you become a Foley artist or you become a voice artist. And so a lot of that stuff is long gone, but it was fun to watch. So, bless you. That's what you get for going on 16-degree weather. So let me start here, share screen. Oh, no, I picked the wrong one. Hang on 1 second. We don't want to see the movie again. Well, you might, but you're not. So share screen. Wish I could actually see things today. Share screen. Okay, here we go. That's the one we want. So mentioned they had a lot of street entertainment. It was interesting. I was just on a Imagineering alumni board yesterday, and people were talking about how so much of the street entertainment and the shows are gone and everything. So again, I don't know how much of this. It's been a number of years since we've been to Disney-MGM. But they had, I don't know how much of this they had or not, but they had a whole bunch of people doing all the street entertainment to keep you occupied. So here,
what we referred to that as was streetmosphere.
Streetmosphere, yeah.
Yeah, they call that streetmosphere.
Oh, streetmosphere. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There was quite a bit of it they did.
Yeah. So here, guy's falling backwards over a bench. I hope he knows how to land because that concrete looks hard. And we have all sorts of random pictures of people, laughing and posing and smiling, that sort of thing. Some of these were done less than full size, so I'll have to zoom in. But they're out here at the forecourt of the theater, trying out their hands on the footprints or handprints of the stars. Brock, what building was this?
That was a backstage building, and I'm trying to remember what it was. I remember the weird checker pattern they came up with for it, but it was something behind, backstage that wasn't. I don't believe it was part of the park itself.
It's across from Disney Springs, and I thought it was a casting building, but it's across from Disney Springs.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it was the casting building. That's right.
Right. So again, here's more of your streetmosphere. I'll get it wrong, but she's mopping up the footprints. And they did a good job. When we were down there, I thought the people were very entertaining with some of the stuff they did. And we'll see, like they had fake cops out on Main Street, and they would come out and give you a ticket for not, a failure to smile, things like that. And they actually had ticket books, and they'd write you a ticket for a failure to smile ticket. I mean, it's silly stuff. Like here's some of the cops out there now. I just thought that sort of thing was pretty funny. To me, it's always going to be the Disney-MGM Studios, whatever they call it today. But here, during construction, you can still see the guy working on the left. We're going to see whoever the guy on the left is. The photographer liked him because we're going to see him working a lot on the archway, and you can see stuff through it.
They just tore down that arch.
Did they?
2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's gone now.
Oh God, all the work that guy put in on it, it's gone?
Yeah, they thought it was a bottleneck.
Yeah, got to go back. I mean, if you look at this, let me zoom in again. It's got all sorts of neat details, on the arch of, Hollywood motifs and everything. So he's working in this section on the pictures we're going to see more of. Looks like detective movies, and over here war movies, and I mean, they did a lot of work on it. It's a shame that it's gone. So, Brock, I hope you behaved yourself and you didn't park out there. More of the parking lot there. You can see a construction fence up over here. So, work is actively going underway back there. Sometimes they would bring things in like this piano. The first time I ever saw one of these pianos, I think it was actually in Tokyo Disneyland, and now they have it here and they have it at Main Street or whatever. But kind of a neat thing. The guy pedals out there in the piano and plays it. Here's the guy working on the archwork. Now, this is the sort of thing that surprised me. It's not a great picture. It's blurry and everything, but yet Imagineering printed it up, and I don't know where they sent them to or how these things got made, but not one that I would think would be something to share with the public. Okay, Brock, can you orient us to where we are here?
Yeah, this is okay. Behind you in this picture, I believe you would see the Hollywood Chinese Theater. This was yeah, this is towards that center area where they had the dinosaur. I think it's also maybe a little bit out of the picture, be coming down. I don't recognize it. It seems like there's some missing buildings here.
There probably are. They probably weren't done yet. The building on the right, by the way, somebody did a thing I just saw it on Facebook. They did a thing on all the existing buildings from the big red car system we had, Pacific streetcars. And that building on the right there was modeled after a power station from the Pacific Electric red cars, which I never knew. But he went off and found the existing one and took pictures of it at the studio
yeah, I think that was a tie into the Roger Rabbit stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And the guy's working on his arch.
A little more in focus that time.
Yeah. Like I said, he shows up a couple times. The entrance, this was great. The Pan Pacific Auditorium was a big venue out here in Los Angeles, which unfortunately burned down. Spectacular fire, but this real Art Deco gateway this is exactly what the Pan Pacific looked like if you'd walk up and buy tickets to go into to the real one. So having lost the real one, it was really nice it had been recreated down in Florida. So work is coming along here more, so that maybe some of the missing buildings have been filled in a lot. You can notice that the street is still dirt at this point in time. A lot of it is Brock, feel free to add anything in. You leave it dirt because you're bringing so many construction vehicles and everything in, and they're big and heavy. If you paved it, you'd be ripping it up. This also gives you flexibility for running wires and pipes and plumbing at the last minute when you realize you forgot something. It also gets nice and muddy, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it can.
Yeah. So you getting a flashback to years ago?
A little bit, yep.
And there's the dinosaur. And
Yeah.
there's no water in it yet, but this was, again, to me, I really enjoyed going to the park and looking around. Folks that have not been there, this is an ice cream stand. Because what makes more sense to have an ice cream stand inside a hollow dinosaur, right? So the forecourt is getting filled out, and now planterings are being put in. If you looked at an aerial view, this you'd realize it's a giant hidden Mickey working on one of the ears there. And more of the street performers. They had the taxi drivers out there. Restored some of these cars, came out really nice. You had their version of Hedda Hopper, the famous gossip columnist who was very big and famous for wearing outrageous hats and everything. And she's out here interviewing the man on the street. In some cases, the people that they're interviewing were just pure, tourists that were brought in there and embarrassed the hell out of them. In a couple of cases, they put plants out there to give it, more energy to get things going. But she's doing a man on the street interview, and what are you thinking about everything? So you can imagine this guy, he goes home or whatever, and his kids and everything saw dad and being interviewed or whatever. Great fun. Casting building again.
Yeah.
And more, I don't know what this performer is doing, but he's obviously entertaining people. Oh, maybe they feed you on the job. The guy on the right has goggles on, so I wonder what's going to happen to him. He's probably going to get a pie in the face or something.
So I remember one of the things that they did. There were three guys, and those may have been some of them, that were called Hollywood Public Works. And after it would rain, they would go around with a little rubber mallet and say they were going to de-water the trees. And they would knock on the tree trunk, these small trees. And of course, the water on the leaves would get all the people around wet. So I wonder if that's what the goggles are for, if he's one of the people who de-waters the trees.
Could be. Let's see. Zoom in on this one a bit. This was supposedly, they had again, you're supposed to be at a movie studio. So they had the gate here and the security guard thing. And there's some act going on here where the guy is filming it. And this guy's going to go and obviously take a fall over the guy who's there in front. The cops are hard at work. But you can see how this was great for the kids. They're really part of the show, right? I mean, you can't get much closer to the action than you are here. Working on Archway. Do you recognize the guy at all, Brock?
No, he was just one of the workers.
Yeah.
We didn't really, if you didn't work on that particular building or have a reason, I met some of them and knew some of them, but not very many. Because
didn't know it was some cases you have just the day workers you hired. Some cases you have the artists from Imagineering. So I just didn't know if it was somebody you might have recognized.
Yeah, this might be. It looks like he's doing some faux painting for aging and graining and that sort of stuff. So It might have been somebody that was brought in for that.
Yeah, you can tell he's a modern guy though. He's got his hard hat on backwards. Studio executive.
Yeah, getting ready to play golf.
Yep. So I said they got lots of pictures. So I'm sorry that arch is gone.
Yep, tore it down in October.
Ah. Oh, this was another big thing they did. They would bring in the celebrities and they would give them a whole big parade, and then they would invite them to come up and put their hands and feet into concrete and sign autographs and that sort of thing. So here's Sid. Here's our goggle boys are cleaning up behind her. And Heather. Oh, by the way, he's over at the lagoon. This is where the dinosaur would be. So this is a mooring post that would go to a rope that was on this ship that's out there. I forget the name of the ship, which is another restaurant. Crossroads of the World, if you're not familiar with it, was a real spot here in LA, and you can still see that that particular tower is out there. But if we come into the area that they rented strollers and stuff off to the right there, if I remember. And Sid Cahuenga at the shop that sold all the memorabilia was off to the side. Well, here's the boat. So here's the mooring things it's working on. So it's again great fun. No idea what this building is. Just part of
just another one of the buildings that were picked to be the typical Southern California and the 1930s, maybe into the 40s. Most of our stuff was dated around 1935. Like the Chinese theater was as it stood in 1935.
Right. I believe I have pictures of this from my visit, and there's a giant Maroon Studios billboard up on the roof later on, so I'll have to go back to look at my own pictures from it. And the cleaning woman out there and little girl. This I don't know how many stars they had in the ground at that point in time. And after the guy did all the work of getting all the green grass and everything, you can see the guy out here putting the executive, but everybody's just walking across the grass and everything, so it didn't last very long. But there's Brock's contribution, the great movie ride. More people, you can imagine you come down the street and these people just start talking to you. If you don't know that they're part of the act, they were asking all sorts of really weird questions and stuff. Cop on duty.
Still putting.
Golf out in the middle of the street, huh?
Yeah.
The street's still under construction, still dirt at this point in time. Like I said, these are not numbered. They jump all over the place. But obviously no signage or anything up at this point in time. And again, another one you say, why did you, this thing got struck by light or whatever. Why did you release it? Well, I don't know, but it's still fun to get.
Were they an official thing that they sold, or did somebody just get a hold of these?
Somebody got a hold of them, and they were in a publicity department and said the studio sent them to them. So, yeah. So anybody want a kippered herring?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, looks like somebody's had a bad day at the office. Getting a citation for lying down on the job. What was interesting is you see where the circle here, there was in another picture, you could see the line coming out and the line coming out. Again, if you work in the industry, you hear about hitting your marks, but they had marks on the sidewalk for the person going, whatever they were doing, they had to be in a specific spot. Dinosaur working down in the lagoon. The guard gate, which was obviously not the real gate, but production personnel, the East Gate entrance. And we have a parade of what going down the street. I can't figure out what they're supposed to do.
No, I think it's just guests walking. It looks like it's a parade, but it isn't.
Oh God. Okay. I was hoping someone was paid to dress like that.
Well, it looks like Popeye on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look at this. It looks like something out of South, Miami Beach, doesn't it? The Walt Disney Theater. Oh, that dirt looks nice and messy to walk through.
Yeah.
Did you have big boots when you worked down there?
Oh yeah.
And if any needs any work done, we could check and see this company's still in business. Then they had people. He's doing, I think, the shell game, sort of stuff. Where's find the hidden thing. So just bring in your own con artist. By the way, look at the hairdo. Are we screaming 1990s here? Okay, I'm in position.
Back to this one again.
Yeah, get ready to get knocked over. Where did P go? Like I said, they bounce all over the place. They're not labeled. There's no explanation of what, other than the year. There's no explanation of what's going on or being done. I have to go to the next folder here 1 second. Good old Hedda. Uh-oh, we put this in the wrong spot. We need to move the whole building to the left.
Yeah.
And if I look, it looks like he's leaning on a giant bunch of sod.
It is.
It is.
It's a stack of sod. Yeah. Brown side down. Inside up.
Yeah. I still remember with Epcot, that they were the 2 days before opening and everything, putting down sod, everything looking great, and then somebody coming in, oh, we need to put another cable trench right through here. So and that literally happened. They had to get all this extra sod just in case. But that's how last minute everything was. Of like you have all those blueprints the guy's working on, and somebody forgot to put in where a cable had to go to light up a tower, and so the guys that did it, they didn't care. They didn't lift up the sod, which was in there like less than 24 hours. They just came with a witch ditch tool, dug right through it, put their cable in, and just left it there. So you can imagine the gardeners coming in the next morning on what the hell. And what does this say on the thing? This is not. I can't make it out. Maybe put my glasses.
This is not trash.
Not trash.
This is not trash. Okay, well, I guess if you're using it for your props for your show.
Yeah, you don't want people throwing trash in it. Oh, there he is again.
Yeah.
Still working on that joint.
And they're looking for a body in the car or something. But this is again Roger Rabbit, big thing. Get everybody going for that whole particular look. So you had the detective out there in the right and the officers. What kind of car are we looking at, guys?
Good question.
Plymouth.
And up here, you see the sign. You are the star. That was a thing you could go in and get your picture put on any one of about 100 different magazine covers. I have one of Carol. I don't know where that went, but I convinced her to sit down and be on the cover of the magazine. Now tell me that these are not average tourists, okay?
No, those are your some of your streetmosphere people.
Yeah.
I think what this to me looks like is these were all the publicity shots they decided not to use for anything. And so when somebody asked for something, they just sent it out to them for, because most of these shots were kind of weird shots. I mean, weren't exciting.
Yep. I have no idea what the whole thing was. Now you can see the buildings have the signage on it and everything.
Yeah.
Now let's look at what this guy's holding in his hand. Oh, it's just a flyer. It reminded me just looking at it, the studio newsreel that we used to have. So the detective's out interviewing people, and here's the star. He's got his fancy robe and his pipe and everything, but the detective's out and interviewing these kids. What did you see, kid? Come on, tell me what you knew. Come on, you gotta know. Don't make me take you in. That sort of stuff.
those people brought so much energy to this area, and people really would gather around and kind of crowd around like we saw in that last picture. And I don't know why they got rid of that. Like it was really a special part of that park.
They got rid of it for money.
Well, money, yeah, I know that part, but
yeah. Yeah, somebody was just saying they got rid of a lot of these things because these people all joined Actors Equity, and now all of a sudden their salary went, like 2-3 times what it was. So it's the case when they first did it, it was non-union, and then they joined Actors Equity, and Disney said, okay, fine, we just won't use you anymore. So, it's great when you can join the union and get a raise. It's not so great when you join the union and lose your job. Just people out on the street. But the star, he gets to stand on a big box, so we know he's important.
Well, it's to make him look taller than he really was.
Yeah. Yeah, look at all the people out on the street. I mean, again, as Beth mentioned, people that congregate. So you have several different shows going on here. You have whatever these guys are doing. We can zoom in a little bit here. I think they're doing some sort of sweeping dancing act. But then you go over here, and here's the police unit and everything. And then further up, you can just make out something else going on here. So it's an awful lot just before you even got down to the theater and the very first big show or anything. It was all sorts of stuff just to keep you entertained. For the camera store. Bought a bunch of film there. And you can look at it, and Star Tours was there for opening. So the lines aren't too bad, but look how long the line was for the Great Movie Ride. Wow, 55 minutes. And they had a tip, come back and see it after 4 p.m. Now, back and again, I mentioned a bunch of the stuff is gone now. So like the animation tour, if you went in, they had real animators doing real, work, not just, faking that they were being animators. They had a whole animation studio. And Carol and I went and we got a behind the scenes tour of it because we knew some of the guys working there, Mark Counselor and others. And it was interesting because there was a big red line on the floor. And he said, what's that? And so when you go in, that's the no scratch line. And I said, what does that mean? The guy said, well, if you sit here at your desk and you start scratching your crotch because it's itchy or something, everybody sees it. You go on the other side of the line, they don't. And when we were there was somebody that was sitting at the desk doing something, got up, walked to the other side of the line, and threw his pencil down and started screaming because he was not happy how the scene was coming out. But I was very impressed that he had kept himself composed long enough to get to the other side of the line. So, and they did a great film. They had a thing with Walter Cronkite and Robin Williams explaining how the whole thing was done. The backstage tour was the tram ride that took you around, all gone now. Obviously, the Indiana Jones stunt show, which Carol got to be a big performer in. So I've got to find the movies I took of that. We'll get to see Carol be a performer. Superstar Television, they great stuff. And very high-tech sign, chalkboard. And we could get a checker cab. He's for hire. They're all posing for a picture for the guy. Yeah, I always thought this was a high-energy, interactive area. And then somehow, all of a sudden, a picture pops in. Okay, we're going to go over to, Epcot and get a picture. It's just in there with them. The Primetime Cafe. Again, they had the drive-in movie theater, and you could watch all the science fiction trailers and stuff. It was great. So that was all 1989. And then they released another batch of these from 1990. So let me go get those. Not as many of those. And again, that has the 1990 date on it. My bet is they were all taken at the same time, and just whatever reason they printed up a different batch of them at a different period of time.
Yeah, because these are the same
people.
People exactly.
Yeah.
And I think they're the same guests at the park. If you went back and compared them, they're not any different.
They'd probably be the same. And here she's a young ingenue arriving in town, ready for her big break. I mean, how many movies
Yeah.
does it do that in, right? And I even know that's a checker cab. I have to go to the next folder here. 1 second. Yeah, that's even the same picture again as before. It's in both
Yeah.
both sets.
Yep.
Oh, restaurant info. Let's not dine until after 2 p.m. But it looks like this guy's got a headset on, so he's probably getting real-time updates on, okay, take that Star Tours and, change it to 25 minutes. But tips, see now.
Well, it's the same exact, isn't it? The same.
Oh, yeah, same hours, right?
Yeah, same information. They hadn't changed it
In a year.
I mean, in other words, it's not. Yeah, in a year, it didn't change at all.
Right. And then all of a sudden there's a random picture in there over at Epcot. So, oh, he's photogenic. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille. There's that same building again that was modeled after the Pacific Electric terminal power station. So that's the last of the official Disney ones. So I forgot to drag out my pictures, which I'll have to do that on another one. But I did get some other pictures of random people that were down there in '89. Some of them at the studio and some others. But let's jump in. Again, these are average tourist shots, not going into the Imagineering ones anymore. So there's Brock's break room up in the top. They're all sitting there having their
Yep.
nice shot of the Earful Tower.
Yeah.
Inside one of the shops. I really thought the Indiana Jones show was very, very well done. I think people say they shortened it now. Is that correct?
I think it is a little shorter. I heard something about that, but it's still going.
Yeah.
At least.
And now the buildings are all dressed up, signage on them, all sorts of things going on.
Got billboards up there now.
Yep. I gotta go to another folder here.
Yeah, one thing I miss, they used to have an umbrella that in the center of the park, you pulled on it and you heard singing in the rain and water came down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been gone a long time, but it was cool.
The back lot. So now we're in New York City on the back lot.
Yep.
Perspective. Again, they had like a bus here, and I've got pictures of my daughter driving the bus. I have to go find those pictures. Actually, I could probably find them today. Let me look
Where
real
the
quick.
heck is that? Huh.
Catastrophe Canyon blowing up. Anybody know who she is? Her name shows up in a moment, but does anybody recognize her? Dina Merrill. So again, bring in the celebrities. You get to meet Mickey and Tigger. Wow. We'll come back to another one with the name. There's the Maroon Studios billboard I mentioned earlier. There's her name coming in. We were there and Nancy Kerrigan came by, and my daughter was just, oh wow, that was, see her, that was a big kick. Stroller rentals. And Herbie, it was funny. I shared this picture. There's a Herbie the Love Bug group on Facebook. I mean, there's a group for everything, right? And they evidently there were several different Herbies in this driveway. As you came by, the one Herbie would smoke its tires, or a different one would lift up and everything. And that the mechanism kept breaking out, so that they just put this Herbie out here for a short period of time, that the eyes would open up on you. And people, again, the experts, oh, that was between whatever, May 15th and August 9th when that Herbie was on duty. Looks like the sod is finally taken in here. She's doing her big performance. She's getting introduced to all the crowd and everything out here. And the stunt show, very, very hard to take pictures of it, because you're sitting in the, I think my pictures, hopefully when I find them, came out better, but you're sitting in the darkness and you've got all that light behind all these performers. Okay, I've got one more thing of other pictures from another tourist, and this is that was in 1989. Now we're into 1990, so we're gonna go back and forth, but we will get to the studio.
Wow, the Swan and Dolphin.
Yeah. Somebody was saying the only place for free parking around these days is the Swan and Dolphin. So interesting to know. Yeah, Carol, we stayed. I'm trying to remember. Did we stay at the Swan or the Dolphin? One of the two of them on a trip, and
I think it was the Swan.
Yeah, yeah, that was.
And that's when we ended up on the concierge floor.
Yep. And they had a thing where you could go down to the kitchen and decorate cookies, and Carol and Margot had great fun decorating cookies and putting on, an apron and a chef hat, and again, the stuff they did for the kids was really kind of cool. To the Epcot Lagoon. And some of the stage shows they did out there. I mean, I've got some video of one of them that's pretty good. Again, back to Indiana, but the backlighting is really tough. Oh, this came out very badly, but again, people going through the Great Movie Ride. This was originally supposed to rotate, wasn't it, Brock?
It rotated, and there was water squirting out from it.
Yep.
And it just, it's a hard time keeping it. It's one thing to build something like that for a movie shot or two or three, but to keep it going for 20 years, it was a hassle.
Yeah, it was going when we first saw it, and then you go back later on and you go, something's different.
They also
static afterwards.
Was that?
I think it became static after a while.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. And I think what they put a scrim in front of it to kind of soften its appearance a little bit, because without the water and everything, it was just kind of like weird looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
People have been posting pictures recently of some of those ladies because they decorated them, like they changed their outfits, and I think they used them in one of the holiday shops now. So I keep seeing people post pictures of those in the last few days.
No kidding. Well, I'd love to see them if you come up with them.
Yeah.
In the lobby of the Dolphin.
Didn't one of the architects pass away recently?
Yeah.
Frank Gehry, the guy that did this,
Frank
died about a week ago.
Eisner's favorite architect.
Yeah, Eisner loved him. And this one, I was trying to figure out where this was. It's all these potted plants growing here.
Is that part of Epcot, the backstage area where they were?
It might be. I was trying
It
to.
could be part of the land pavilion.
Yeah.
Could be just that they've got that whole area for plants and things off site.
It might just be the nursery.
I think it's the nursery, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. Fun to tour that.
I put a link in the chat to an article that has some pictures of the ladies in the shop.
Oh, okay, great. Look at it.
Those country bears a minute ago.
Yeah, like I said, they just kind of jump all over the place. The Muppets. This was not the Muppets 3D. This was a live Muppet show. Here come the Muppets.
At the time I visited MGM decades back, they had a Lucille Ball tribute, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, and
Universal Studios?
it was like in a corner drugstore type of facade. But the thing I remember most is they had family stereo photos on display. And most or all of them, they had somehow reversed the left and right eyes, so they were in reverse stereo.
Oh, wait. All right, I did find some other pictures here. So this is my trip down there in October '89. We'll see Carol and Margot in some of these. So here's the ship now all decked out, so you can go get your food there. One of the things that's great was let's sell food and let's put 6 tables off to either side, so everybody else has to sit in the planters and stuff to eat. They're just different things. Remember, not coming out entirely well. The MetLife blimp was always over at Disney at that time. Mentioned the theater before. We saw a couple of dancing gals out there, but they did some nice shows. The only trouble was sitting out there in the sun on a hot day. Oh boy, that definitely an area needed some shade. Some of these I've been playing with from. This was a 2900 DPI scan. This is 4000. I'm just going through some of my old pictures and redoing them. I guess I liked the arch even back then. And there's Margot. There's our daughter. We were getting ready to go and take the tour of the animation studio. You wonder where all this stuff ended up. And we were getting ready to go see the great movie ride. Not a place in a map, but a state of mind. A Hollywood that never was and always will be. Oh, how profound. Wonder who wrote that for him. And the lagoon has water in it now. You can see how the difference in the scanning, improves over time. But I believe I have others from this trip too. So let me just go back here real quick. Let's see. That's okay. Let me try 1990. We were there a couple times, so I believe other pictures here. Okay, so let's see. So here we are. We're going another day, walking into the main entrance there. And there's Margot and Carol. Margot has changed a little, but Carol's about the same.
That's Carol on the left.
A child bride. The Dipmobile from Roger Rabbit. Margot's not all worried about this giant machine coming her way. This is my cousin Christine. She worked at this Disney at the time. She was one of the operators when you'd call make hotel reservations, and that's her husband. But it was really funny because when we went to visit her over there where she worked, she's answering the phone. Hi, this is whatever, Susan, because there was another Christine working that day. So they had to have a whole board on the wall. If you're looking for, if somebody's calling, they're asking. I was just speaking to Susan. Could you, connect me? There was a matrix there. Oh, that's actually Christine. She's at station 12. So But yeah, they couldn't have two Christines working the same day. But yeah, back Roger Rabbit was big at this point in time. The fountain from Splash. This is the real prop used for the movie and was relocated out here to the studio. Margot's at the steamroller. This was one of the gag shops there. And you can see Carol was born to be an actress, right? Look at that. I mean, she's really into it. And she's saving Margot from that steamroller. And fun things, the cutout of Roger Rabbit through the brick wall. And Carol's not bad. She's just drawn that way. I don't know what kind of car that one is. The Looney Bin. Souvenirs. And we get to take a tour of the back lot.
I have to correct myself. I just looked it up. The Lucy tribute was at Universal.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right. That makes a little more sense. Thank you,
They
Wayne.
just took it out too, not too long ago.
Having worked at real studios, got a real kick out of how they did the back lot here for this one. There's Carol pushing the stroller.
And the blimp.
Yeah, there's the blimp. He's up there all the time. So let me get some more. There's a 1992 visit. So we're at the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playground. Oh, this was fun. I had a friend that worked for Disney, still in touch with him, Milton, and he was a technician on the shows. And we had just seen the Beauty and the Beast show, and then he asked if we'd like to go backstage. And Margot got to meet Belle, and oh boy, was I a hero for getting this set up. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's the sort of thing you're so glad you're able to do this sort of stuff for your kids, because the gal playing Belle was so nice. Came out, did you enjoy the show? And would you like to meet some of the other people? And I think Lumiere is backstage, and I can get him to come out. And Margot was just absolutely thrilled about it, you know, being able to get her picture taken and meet the real Belle. So it's like I said, it's every now and then you're just lucky you're able to do things like that. Walt's plane was on display. This was the same plane I had flown to Disney World on during a business trip, and it's now it was sitting here rotting away. It's now been mostly restored and is still working on it. You can go see it in Palm Springs.
Did they get the interior?
They're doing the interior now. They had taken a lot of the interior out, and they're putting it back. The archives was lucky; they had saved a whole bunch of the stuff. For whatever reason, somebody had the foresight to save, like next to Walt's chair. When you got in it, it was I think it seated about 12. There was one seat that you weren't supposed to sit in. It was Walt's seat, and it had a little paper thing across it, you know, to keep you from sitting down. We flew from Burbank down to Orange County, and we picked up the guy, and Brock made me remember his name, did all the rock work for the company. And he was so important that we had to divert. I mean, we all had to go to Burbank, but we went to Orange County to pick him up, and he got the seat in Walt's seat. And next to Walt, the little set of repeater instruments that would tell you altitude, your airspeed, that sort of thing. So that's the sort of thing the archives.
Was Walt's seat also the one that had the little pull down desk thing?
Yep.
Yes, I got to sit in that seat on my trip across.
Oh,
I think I told this story. Yeah, I was a big shot, but I paid for it because going across, you know, and the thing had a lot of vibration and hum to it, and it was a long flight. I fell asleep sitting in that seat, and they had brought me a what was it? 7-Up or something like that, and it was sitting on the thing, and it slowly vibrated down till it hit the edge of the seat, and I woke up to this sudden wetness It landed in my lap. Yeah, that was
That's a fun one to
a
explain.
shocking thing, and I was apologizing all over the place. I said, "Oh no, it sometimes happens, because the thing really did vibrate a lot. It wasn't a smooth flying airplane, I didn't think.
Well,
I mean,
think it depends on the weather and stuff like that. I mean, when we went, our friend Kathy Ashcroft was it was Brian's wife, was the flight attendant, and she was sick that day. And I may mention this in another talk. We got there, and they said you have to fly with a flight attendant, so they sent the company mechanic, and he didn't want to be there. He didn't want to do any of this and everything. So we were flying along, and the toilet broke. And we landed, I think it was in Biloxi or someplace to get fuel because we had hit a headwind. And when he was passing out the box lunches, he basically threw them at you. But he went in and worked on the toilet and fixed it. And when we took off, he said, "I bet nobody misses the broad now." It was a hell of a ride. It was
Yeah,
great.
no, it was what I meant was just the vibration from the engines and
engine,
everything.
yeah.
And so that's why that thing just slowly made its way across because the desk had a certain slope to it for riding. When it came down, it wasn't like level type thing. But yeah, we took it. It was on the Living Seas project that we flew. I was myself. Tim Delaney was on board. Kim Murphy. I think Alan Moyer was with us at that point, or he may have already been in Florida working on the facility. But they flew us all out on that, which was kind of a neat thing to be able to say you flew on Walt's plane.
Oh yeah. And I have a couple pictures here. These are in not any particular order, but there's yours truly and Margot. These were on Carol. Carol took these pictures, so she's got all sorts of different things on the reel. She generally was the one who let me take all the pictures, but there we are on the big red car. And I see what else is here. I have some flowers I bought her. Mario. This Bugs Bunny. I wanted something at the studio. They had a door prize, and he wouldn't fit in my car, so I put the top down on the convertible and took him home. But our son won this big rabbit here. He had put a drawing in a what you call it, a local pharmacy, and they called you one. And I had to put the top down in the car, and somebody, I'm sitting at a stoplight, and somebody says, "What's with the big rabbit?" And I said, "What rabbit?" Oh, oh God, the things that come back from memory. These pillows we bought, and Margot wore them out, and one day Minnie just had to go away, and I had to go find another replacement Minnie pillow. I thought there was another MGM picture. No, I guess not. So we'll just end with those. So anyway, yeah, we enjoyed. I know I have other Disney MGM pictures. I'll have to find them someplace because we took them on a bunch of trips. But we haven't been to Disney World in a couple of years now. Trying to remember the last time we went. It was a while back. So let me see. I have to go see the picture Beth sent real quick. Oh, that's kind of creepy. The look on the center of one's face. Oh my God, that looks like something out of Doctor Who. That's funny.
I think they looked better from a distance in the ride than they do up close like this.
Well, that's the thing. You have to caricaturize it, I guess, to make it show up from a distance. But yeah, that look is a little crazy. So anyway,
but people immediately recognized that those were from the Great Movie Ride. So
yeah,
I've seen a lot of people post pictures of those.
I did have something else real quick. If I go back here, I got to go back to my folder. We've seen a bunch of the movies over time where I've been cleaning them up, and I actually did finish cleaning up some of them. So I thought people might like to see how they look a little bit better. So let me see. We're not going to see Universal again. So let me just get this queued up here. So we're going to go back to Disneyland real quick. If I find the right window here, Zoom meeting. No. Zoom meeting. Here we go. No. Come on. Here we go. Share screen. share. This was not dated, but judging from everything around it, it was around 1960. So we're driving on into the happiest place on earth. Look at all those tail fins.
Yep.
And we get to see the house of the future. Oh, the blinds automatically close as the sun comes through our windows. And we have big screen TV. Flat panel. I mean,
Big screen tube TV.
yeah, they were actually predicting it though, right? Flat panel.
Yeah.
$20,000? No, just a submarine voyage. Wasn't 20,000 there.
Yep.
It's amazing those subs are still being used.
Amazing, is it? Mermaids.
Hey, mermaids.
Let's go for a swim. The gals that did it said their hair all turned terrible colors and started falling out, and the water's so heavily chlorinated. I would have loved to have seen this in person.
You never saw that in person?
Nope.
Oh.
That came out in '67 for the rehab, and I hadn't gotten out here by then.
Yeah, it was neat to see as a kid.
Yeah, again, the theming in the early shots, you can see steam venting out of the engine, and at some point in time that went away for whatever reason. But just an up vents further up the rocket, looks like the real rocket's venting liquid oxygen and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's so well dressed. Nature's Wonderland. Big rehab for 60 or 61, I guess this was. Real quick shot of the mules there.
Cascade Peak.
Yeah. Before it
Mountain
rotted
Snow.
away. The tree house. Glad we still have our island, unlike Florida. Again, I was an adult when I first went out there, but I can imagine what a thrill this island would have been. The kids with the caves and all the trails and teetering rock and all that. The real good spot.
Yeah, when I went on the island, you could actually use everything on it. They closed down some of the stuff because it was deemed too dangerous, as kids got or lawyers got more involved.
Yeah, like when they had to take the rifles out of the fort because somebody hurt their finger on one. Taken out because of dry rot and stupid accountants. Burial ground. Look at the hat that was right in the center there. It was these paper hats you could buy. Hey, a mermaid's beaching herself. There's a newsreel out there on YouTube of them doing mermaid tryouts at the Disneyland Hotel. Having them all come out and now put on the tail and try swimming. And I think they had about a 10% success rate that people could actually swim in those tails. We're okay unless they're wiggling their ears. That must
The
have been a
astronaut.
hot suit to wear on a hot day.
I always wondered why she didn't get a helmet, you know? He
I
gets
was
there, she
wondering-
doesn't.
I was wondering that too. I was also wondering if she was a real blonde or if that was just, no, we don't need Universal again. Oh, well, I wasn't going to do this one, but okay, since it's running, we get Knott's Berry Farm. These days, people would shoot back.
Yeah.
Now we're at the Movie Land Wax Museum.
Not still there at the Planet Eye.
That's gone. Gone for a long time.
Hmm.
Just some real quick shots of Hollywood. No, that's not Florida. I can't even tell who some of those people were. Guy didn't waste a lot of film on that, did he?
Yeah, I was gonna say, wow,
No.
really fast. Whew.
We could go to the Palladium and you could see, is that Guy Lombardo? I can't make out the signage there. The Brown Derby Restaurant. One imagines that's their family. Still there today, so okay, come on. It's gonna do Universal again. Stop it. I did have one more Disneyland movie. Where did that go? Here we go. Where did I do this one? Try this one here. No, we did this one. Hang on 1 second. Okay. Went from a 3-car to a 4-car monorail, so things are improving. We get the tram out in the parking lot. All the bad jokes keep coming to mind as I see all these shots. I had lunch about 2-3 years ago with a guy who was a former Jungle Cruise skipper, and we were sitting at lunch, and we were both basically going through favorite jokes or gags or whatever. And I think the people at the next table thought we were crazy. He was talking about how, you get things that were funny back then that are dated now, and he still thinks they're funny, but you mention it to anybody today and they have no idea what you're talking about. Until I got this, I didn't realize they actually did the Indian dancing at night. I had a friend that could do that hoop dance really, really well. And I can only imagine how many hours he put in on doing it, practicing it. All the kids are joining around at the closing ceremony. Again, the sort of thing, what a thrill to be picked to be in a show at Disneyland. The next day, forgot to reset the camera, so we think still doing night shots. Oh, realized it. Well, actually, I fixed this a whole bunch. There goes a nun. Hang on, everybody. Here we go.
Yep. Still an effective illusion.
Yep. Alice, before they had to put safety rails along it. Back when the characters could free wander through the park. Single car monorail. Or bobsled, I know why I said monorail. Snow White and Her Adventures as opposed to Snow White's Scary Adventures. I never did get to see any of this Tomorrowland. The Hall of Chemistry, there's the flight ring for model.
That was replaced by the Journey Through Inner Space, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got nice long shots here. Well, that was a dark one I should have taken out. The juice bar, the Welch's juice bar, that was such a great spot to get something cold to drink. Had a beautiful mural in the back by Ivan Earle. Unfortunately, wasn't saved when the building was torn down. This is like a lot of shots in the department of places you can't go anymore. Now there's some you don't see often, a unicycle clown at Disneyland. Popcorn, 25 cents. You can tell that's an old one. Oh, don't get my picture, Dad. Tour guides, real quick.
Oh,
Hang in there. We only have 30 seconds to go. We need monorails.
Oh yeah.
Nice thing is, if we had monorails, I wouldn't have to stay out in the street and direct traffic anymore. So, well, anyway, took us from coast to coast, and hope it brought back a few memories for you, Brock.
Yeah, it did.
Yep. So, everybody got all their Christmas shopping done? Carol can tell you the Amazon trucks just keep on coming here. So it makes life a lot easier on some things. So, and our son works for a company where a lot of the vendors like to send him stuff. So I have to, when the packages come in, normally I assume they're for me. Now I have to look and, oh no, this is one for him. So, but maybe if it's something really good, maybe he'll never know. What to say. Anyway, that's it for today, and I think we're going to go back to some different other pictures I was working on during the week this week, and hopefully the weather is okay. That besides Don, I don't think anybody else is in any real cold spots. So, yeah, our daughter is up in I mentioned before, the Seattle area, and they were up in a little town called Leavenworth, which is a recreated German village, and this time of year is supposed to be lots of snow and horse-drawn carriages and everything. Well, they had lots of rain, and they finally decided it was raining so much, we might as well just go home, and leave after breakfast instead of staying the whole day. And she was really lucky they went home when they did, because the road behind them got washed out, had a giant mudslide and closed the highway. And there's all sorts of pictures of they're getting record rains up in Washington, and rivers bursting their banks and going into towns. And I was just looking at some pictures today of the Mount Rainier Railway, and a lot of their bridges, they had a river normally is 5 feet of water, and now it's 11 plus feet of water, and all the bridges are getting clogged up by logs and things coming down. So they're using this backhoe and claw to try to drag all this stuff out before it builds up a dam, which breaks out their bridges. And they were saying the river went up 6 feet in something like an hour. I mean, it was just amazing amount of flooding. So I guess it could have been worse. It could be snow. Imagine if the river went up 6 feet, how much snow that would be. But at least it wouldn't wash things away. And in England, just on the same note, I was looking at pictures of what was the town where the castle is in England. Anyway, one of the towns, the river burst and the entire town was flooded. And somebody had the picture that you have to take, of course, of the no parking sign, barely sticking above water. But, we could sure use some rain out here. Like I said, it was 86 yesterday and supposed to be warm for most of this week. And hopefully we'll get some. We started off the year real well, but it's been pretty dry since then. So hopefully we'll see folks next week, and then by that time I hope I have all my decorations outside the house, and I got one more parade to do tomorrow, another Christmas parade, and then hopefully things can quiet down. So have a great rest of the week, and look forward to talking to you later.
Thank
you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. Hope your vision is better.
Bye-bye.